for Chicago Fire, the home side. That very fluid 3-4-3, 5-3-2 kind of shape. The one constant, though, in this team is David Pareba is going to find the back of the net as he sets the pace. 17 goals, leader in the league for the Golden Boot on the year. He scored 4 against this New York Red Bulls side in 2 previous renditions of this matchup so far this year. Other standout performers in this team as well. Diego Konix back in the back line, trying to shore things up against a Red Bull attack that certainly knows how to fill it up. And here is how the side sets up for the team from New York. And today, as Daniel Gutierrez takes the reins, yellow card accumulation suspension for Ibrahim Seka Gaia. This is the 4-4-2 structure of a team that is going to press, get in your face, and make it quite uncomfortable. You're of the Chicago persuasion for certain. Tanner Roseborough coming off a match in which he found the back of the net the last time out. And it is a New York Red Bulls side that will be without Julian Hall. Scored in the last match against Carolina Core. Got the call up to the senior team and is bagging goals at the senior level as we direct our attention toward the center circle. All important, this contest, as these teams try to seed themselves. Set the pace at the back of the pack to get inside of that playoff line. Find the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. Chicago Fire just trying to get right again. Unable to claim victory in their last 6 games. They were sitting pretty only a couple weeks ago. Falling on hard times. Red Bulls trying to get hot at the right part of the calendar. In the red, it's Chicago. In the white, it's Red Bull. Salvador Flores, the center official, blows his whistle, and we move here in this one. It'll be interesting to see how the visitors decide to trigger on the ball, what tempts them to set the traps, to come forward and apply that pressure. Such a central part of their DNA. The press is woven into the double helix of this Red Bull organization, tip to tail. Konix. Now Red Bull get engaged. Able to grapple the ball back. There's Copeland Berkeley closing down, and the ball flows back to the goalkeeper, Aiden Stokes. A little bit casual there at the back. Kolowaso, the one caught taking his time on the ball as Pareba pressed in. It's a throw. Bit of a blind ball in towards the area. Over the head of Stokes. No one in net, and that will be the easiest goal ever scored by Christian Kofi. Chicago, ignition right from the opening bell. Seventh goal of the year for Kofi, and he didn't have to do much there, as Aiden Stokes just... Mosquera, and just wicked wide. It was an inquisitive effort. Sudan, not enough dip and swerve. First moment of any potential anxiety after the error that led to the goal for Aiden Stokes. Looked like he was going to have that covered if it was on target. Fire pressing off the goal kick. Rewarded for that effort, but they can't reap what they sow, giving the ball right back. Cheeky little back heel. Kofi has the angle, bends to the byline. Kofi cut back in, it's still there, firing at goal! And finding Pater with a deflection. Javier Casas compounds the advantage. His second of the campaign. Stretches the edge for Chicago. It took a gnarly... Trying to do something about that, though. Here's Sofo. Sofo slid in. Oh, and it's scuffed. Rossborough with the goal gaping. Just can't quite conjure the proper connection. You see that little half step as you watch the ball roll in before he sets his feet and stills his nerve to have the hit. That little shuffle caught him just off balance as he struck the ball, stroked it over the target. Red Bull leave it in the rear view, though, as the foul comes. It's another example of how this team likes to set traps as soon as that ball enters the pivot. How quickly several white shirts descended. That's a great line-splitting ball into Kofi. Rochester gets the beating of his man, blurs away. Rochester, a heavy touch, a diving intervention. Kept in play. Rahel. Still Rahel. That slide from him, sliding in. Casas looking for another, punched away. Stokes makes himself the obstacle. Firm goalkeeping from him, and now the ball finds his feet. Just sneaking it underneath the studs of Pareba, who was in hot pursuit and still is. Floated far afield, Chicago will pick the ball up for a free kick. Plots his path in behind, Kofi running onto it. Makes it a little bit uncomfortable for Berkeley, but he does well. Just trying to find an attacking foothold. That'll be a good way to advance the ball. Free kick. They've had little flickers of attacking industry, but not the final product. Not the real thing yet. Mosquera and Sofo usually at the heart of those moves. Jarvis. Well defended there. Slid forward, a well-shaped ball. A moment of real chance and whacked off the line. Shannon had the cover as Sofo stabbed wildly at it. It's a corner kick. What a brilliant ball that was to slip in behind. Looked like Valencia, who was making the overlapping run. Maybe a chance to have the deficit ahead of halftime. With thrust and in swing. And a firm header. Still not quite cleared. And now it is Diouf. Bit of a heavy touch there, but bounding in and providing the foul was Pareba. Sofo holding it up. Jarvis twists himself free. Sofo. Well-connected passing here. Kasule slips it through. And Mosquera flashes over the target. It's another chance that goes a-begging. Red Bulls continue to show their teeth, though, playing with their tails up for certain. Just fell right back to Kasule, who Lair to pass in, and Mosquera all but the final product. Jarvis tangled up with Nagel. Waiting on the board to go up. Shouldn't be a lot of stoppage time, you would think. This game has had a nice tempo and pace. Flashing forward, Cassoulet. Still him, it's Cassoulet! And can't get the beating of Jeff Gall. It was a rather biteless finish after a brilliant winding run. Gall can't quite get the reading of it. Still there, back into the box. A collision in the area. Looked like it was two Fire players that came together. This isn't a death sentence for Red Bull, although it would make the climb pretty tall into their final 3 games as we get underway into the second half. Kofi just dragged back. It'll be a yellow card. Looks like that was shown to Dylan Sullivan. Puts his hands on his knees and sucks in wind. Stopping up a promising attack is Pareba. Had gotten the inside leverage on his defender and was making the dash for the channel. Looks like a whole host of changes being prepared by Red Bull now. Jarvis checks his shoulders and shuttles one ahead. It's Mosquera on the front end. Mosquera shuffling in. Mosquera! A slap shot. Straight into the back of the net and straight back into the game for the guys from the Gotham City. Just wrong-footed goal as he snaked inside and slashed the striking. Oh, what play. Kofi screaming downfield, options streaming toward the area. Kofi takes it on himself, cut in. Pareba once more, and what a save that is. Aiden Stokes swallows it up. Still carrying forward, Dembele. Now Jarvis. And finally finding the feet of Valencia, who crashes a ball in and just skips away. Dembele keeps it on. Into the area and back to Dembele, who angles in across. Mehmeti! Just flushed wide. Valencia. And Cassoulet bending free, rushing into Jarvis. Jarvis! Just sifting it wide. Got the angle. Got a clean set of goal. Was always going to be a tough finish. Ultimately can't put it on frame. Portion of the match is brought to you by Allstate. That ball just runs away from Perpa, and it's once more on the hunt. New York Red Bulls. Dembele into the area. Shuffled back inside. Cassoulet busting along to keep it on. And that'll do for Chicago Fire 2. They scored instantly, and then they scored once more and sat back to defend what they had earned.